The Phenom, the Dead Man, Big Evil, Mr. Deadboy, Spooks the Ghost Lad, Big Old Deddy Evil Chops, The Great Scowler, Punch McLightning, Stuart Pork, Captain Black Hat Smoke and Fog, Tall Bastard. The Undertaker has enjoyed many nicknames over his 25-year WWE run. On camera, he's had one of the best and most varied careers ever enjoyed by a wrestler. But behind the scenes, he's a once-in-a-lifetime character as well. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 fascinating backstage facts about The Undertaker. Number 10. Backstage politics. Fact is, backstage politicking is just part of the wrestling industry in the same way that projectile vomit is part of raising a child. Many superstars have earned a reputation for being behind-the-curtain politicians like Shawn Michaels, Triple H, in fact all of the clique, but Taker was known to indulge as well. He famously told Vince that he wasn't feeling it when asked to job to Brock Lesnar at Unforgiven 2003, forcing the match's finish to be changed to a DQ. At one point he also informed management that he would never tap. He would job, but he straight up refused to let his character submit. And, as a legend, he's earned the right to veto any and all developments with his character, so much so that creative will telephone Undertaker personally before proceeding with any storyline plans for him. The man is a giant of the industry. Number 9. His nickname. So Taker is feared and respected by all in the wrestling world. He has a huge amount of political and physical power, so what nickname did Paul Bearer have for The Undertaker to reflect this? The nickname was Wendy. Yep. Wendy. See, before Mark Calloway dyed his hair black for the Deadman persona, he was a natural redhead. One day, a gust of wind blew apart his red mullet to look like pigtails, and someone said he looked just like the girl from the Wendy's logo, and the name stuck. The fact that Paul Bearer called him Wendy, right up until the point where their friendship ended, speaks volumes about the bond between the two men. Number 8. Choking out Kurt Angle. To quote JR, Undertaker is tougher than a $2 steak, but not many know that he's tough enough to choke out an Olympic wrestler. According to Kurt Angle's book, It's True, in stores now, the Olympian and Vince McMahon would often play wrestle in a way that was definitely just lad banter and in no way homoerotic at all. Kurt recounts that on one plane journey, he and the boss were indulging in some rather rambunctious roughhousing when the commotion woke a sleeping Undertaker. Confused, annoyed, and perceiving Kurt to be attacking the boss, Undertaker leapt on Kurt and locked him in a chokehold. It wasn't until he was halfway to unconsciousness that McMahon called off his terrifying lapdog. Number 7. Threatening Shawn Michaels. Now there's a trend emerging, and that is mess with Vince McMahon and Undertaker will ruin your day. In the months before he semi-retired at WrestleMania 14, Shawn Michaels went through a period of being, to put it politely, a screaming asshole. In the lead up to his match at Mania with Austin, many were worried that Michaels' pill addiction and downward spiraling career would lead him to do something stupid and not do business right. Undertaker took matters into his own hands, taped up his fists, and told HBK to his face that he would knock him all the way out unless he promised to put over Austin properly, which apparently scared Michael straight. American badass. Number 6. His relationship with Vince. So what's the deal between Taker and Vince? From all accounts, the two men are incredibly close, almost father and son. It's public knowledge, after all, that Vince prizes loyalty above all else, a rare commodity in a business as cutthroat as wrestling was in the late 90s. During the Monday Night Wars, everyone at some point had dealings with the other team. Even HBK asked for his release at one point, but Taker never strayed. Not once. In gratitude, Vince essentially crowned Taker king of the locker room, telling the boys to take things to Undertaker before they brought things to him. The dead man was essentially the head of the union and kept the boys in line for the boss. Number 5. The BSK. Ever wondered what the BSK tattoo on Undertaker's torso stood for? It's short for Bone Street Crew, the name of Undertaker's backstage gang. Like the clique, only with more mass and punchier fists, the BSK consisted of Taker, Charles the Godfather Wright, Paul Bearer, the Godwins, Yokozuna, Rikishi, Savio Vega, Bryan Adams, not that one, and Brian Clark. You do not mess with these big, powerful dudes. Taker was the leader and got all his boys to get Bone Street tattoos, but the BSK wasn't a political group like the clique was. They were just tough sons of bitches who were old school wrestling fans and could punch a building to death if they had to. Number 4. Weight problems. Although The Undertaker has, over the last decade, cultivated a rightful reputation for being one of the best workers in the industry, he wasn't always admired with bulletproof passion. Back in 2000, when he returned to the company as the American badass character after an extended absence, he had slapped on a lot of weight, to the point where you could call him, well, fat. Like, beer belly fat. He'd gotten sloppier in the ring, and rather than be beloved by the IWC, he was hated. His work rate had slowed right down, and people called him on it. It's hard to imagine people being sick of The Undertaker, but that's what happened. Over the next few years, he leaned back down, but for a brief period, The Undertaker's weight issues caused him as much disdain as someone like Big Show gets today. Number 3, retirement talk. It seems to be almost a done deal that Undertaker will retire at this year's WrestleMania 32, having one last ride in front of his home state of Texas, in front of, hopefully, the biggest live crowd in WrestleMania history. But actually, retirement talks have surrounded The Undertaker for over 15 years. In 1998, he injured his ankle, aggravating it during the Hell in a Cell match with Mankind, and plagued by bone chips, it looked like the end for The Undertaker, but he persevered. Many thought that the reason for Undertaker's American Badass character was for him to retire on his own terms, a badass Texan with a genuine love of motorbikes. And still he pushed through recurring injuries. The return to the Deadman persona was originally conceived as The Undertaker having one last run as the Phenom before riding off into the sunset, but still he kept on and on, even after a shoulder injury forced him out of full-time competition in 2010. Say what you want, but after all these years and multiple injuries, The Undertaker has earned his retirement. Number 2, Wrestlers Court. We mentioned before that Undertaker was the leader of the locker room and that it was chiefly up to him to sort out any petty issues between the boys. And he did. And how did he do it? Wrestlers Court. That's right, The Undertaker presided as judge during what was a long-standing tradition set up by Dutch Mantell back in the day. If there were ructions backstage, Undertaker would set up a kangaroo court and try the defendants, who have included Edge and Christian for being seen to bribe a member of Creative with action figures, the Hardy Boys for letting their then manager Michael P.S. Hayes steal Kane's seat on an airplane, and Matt Striker for being a bit of a dick. Taker would punish guilty offenders with strict sentences, which mostly involved them buying him a lot of Jack Daniels. And number 1, he wanted the streak to end years ago, almost a decade ago in fact. Many people, myself very much included, thought the streak should never have been broken, but anyone who knew Mark Calloway knew that breaking the streak was inevitable. He doesn't just have a move called old school, The Undertaker is old school, down to his bones, and old school wrestling logic dictates that you go out on your back, and whatever accomplishments you accrue in your time, you use those to put over a younger guy. Originally, Taker wanted Orton to break the streak at WrestleMania 21, and since then, other names floated to break the streak were Kurt Angle, Wade Barrett, and, bafflingly, Mark Henry. With Undertaker's health in constant question, it's not really surprising that he was anxious to make sure a younger talent benefited from his legendary career as soon as possible. Such is the code of an American badass. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can even follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.